country, but then you do everything, which is not possible because they're not as powerful as the government, right? They're not as influential as the government. So you can see we already have the answer. And I don't think it's a project management solution. It's more of a, yes, there is project management solution, but it's more of a thinking, our mentality of, our attitude of, we need to make sure these projects are ready. And the government needs to do its bit. So even with less money, you can, in the initiation phase of the project, you're only spending 1% of the money, or 2%, or 5% at the most. So you can spend 5% of the money for mega projects, like say, for example, the bridge project, a similar bridge project in future. You can spend about up to 3 or 4 plus 5% of the money in planning, concept design, getting that approval. And then the private sector will easily come and say, look, you've got all the approval, you've got the data, let's sign a contract for 40 years. You give me the bridge for 40 years, I'll raise the toll. It's simple, isn't it? It's easy, but the government doesn't do that. In Nepal, I don't see the government doing that. In Australia, there is a lot of that upfront study, the planning is done by the government.
Sir, thank you very much. You have just opened up our eyes that not only the grant project or donation project are the project, or it should be the only source for development project, but we can easily follow BOT model, the build, operate and transform model for development project in future when the grants and donation will be stopped. Not only build, we can use a public-private partnership model for development project. You have already mentioned one very separate, the opposite dimension. Till now, generally, the NGOs, non-government organization, NGOs, they have identified a social problem. They come up with an idea, they draft a PP, then submit to a donor and get buy-in from the government and implement the project. So that was the move. But according to you, after LDC graduation, the government itself has to identify the most viable project. They have to develop the project proposal, as well as after developing the project proposal and initial approvals, then they have to call a private sector body, please build this airport. And you will run it for 30 years. Later on, it will be nationalized. Please build this bridge. You will collect tool for 25 years, and then it will be national assets. So the gamut will be changed. The total scenario will be changed. Thank you very much, sir. In this connection, we already listened from you about 1 hour on project management. Yes. Now, what is the future of project management?
It's very bright. Like it's the fastest growing career in globally, and it's the same in Bangladesh as the industry develops over there. Same in Nepal. It's the fastest growing industry in Nepal in terms of career growth, and it's very bright. And the technology is changing fast. Society is changing fast. There's so much disruption in the world, like COVID disrupted us, and we found new ways to adapt to life. And project management also has to adapt, and it'll give society or the country new solutions to adapt to new challenges, like from COVID or from natural disasters, or So I'm actually currently working on some natural disaster projects. Like I'm actually trying to develop a project management model myself in Australia, so not in Nepal, or obviously if the opportunity came, I would have gone. But in Australia, I'm actually trying to develop some methodologies here also myself for landslide projects, slope remediation projects. So it's a really exciting industry to be part of. The future is very bright, and I'm recommending anyone that wants to get in project management, they should.
Sir, thank you very much. You have shown a hope of light. a light with a brighter future. So anyone who would like to be a good project manager or a qualified project implementer, your future is bright according to our today's expert. And my last question, last but not the least, the question is, what are your recommendation to the government specifically for creating quality project as well as implementing in time for optimum benefit?
To the government of Bangladesh, or
yes, to the government of Bangladesh or to the government of Nepal, especially developing countries, those who are unable to implement a project in time, implement a project with the calculated cost. So there is inefficiency, there is corruption, many things, lack of preparedness, lack of infrastructure, lack of qualified project implementer, and lack of technology. Many things we are lack in. So what are your recommendation to the government to implement a project in time and with the calculated cost?
I say that as obviously, my home country also in Nepal. I say that as, the challenges we face, if I can say that in relation to how I've experienced as a citizen over there in Nepal. One is there should be no political interference, because there's a lot of political interference. The project managers should not be transferred until the project is finished, unless there's an issue with performance. If the project manager is doing well, they should not be transferred. All right. The government should allocate sufficient time in planning for the projects. So we have to select a leader that is realistic also. Like sometimes in Nepal and countries like Bangladesh, we do not select a leader that says realistic things. For example, the mayor in Kathmandu 5 years ago, he said he'll build a metro station in Kathmandu within 5 years. You know what I mean? Which is impossible to do within 5 years. It'll almost take 10 years if they really put their mind to it. But nothing got done. Not even a design got done in 5 years. So I think the public also should hold the leaders accountable to make sure that what they're promising in the election manifestos, in the project for their projects, should be realistic. Because we know as public how long it will take. Let's be honest, yeah. And government bureaucrats, even the ministers, they could do courses on project management, like governance, project governance, so they can understand the impact they have on projects. So sometimes it's a lack of training also. Sometimes the person can be really nice. They may be very clean. They may not be corrupt. But if they don't have the skills of decision making, that can also impact a project. And let's face it, the high-level government bureaucrats and the politicians, the leaders, are the people that make or break the project at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So if they are nice people, but if they have the skills and some awareness, it will go a long way. So I think these are the things I would say.
Sir, thank you. Thank you very much. You have rightly advised that political influence should be withdrawn. No political interference in development project, number one. Second one is project manager should not be transferred. Due to political reason or any other reason, project manager could be transferred, but it will hamper the project implementation period. It will increase the project implementation period. Therefore, the project manager should not be transferred unless he is not qualified. But why you will select a not qualified people? So obviously, should not be enough time should be allocated, and qualified people should be involved with the development project implementation. And project should be realistic, as well as capacity building of the government bureaucrats should be there to implement a project. Because if they don't know, they don't understand the importance of a project, then they will not give proper attention to it. And without proper attention of a senior level government bureaucrats, it is impossible to implement any project in time. Thank you very much, sir, And we are very humble and very grateful to you for allowing us your valuable time to speak with Meet the Expert session of Developing Bangladesh. Hopefully, we will listen from you maybe on another topic, maybe on another day. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you.